Hello, welcome to Pulp Comic Club. I'm Tyler from Pulp Central Gaming. This is going to be our weekly update on what's coming out for the following week of comic books. So these 10 issues that I'll be covering are going to be released on November 7th. So just wanted to give you an idea of some of the things that look interesting, what you might want to spend your money on when they come out. These are all based off the creators, the cover art, and the descriptions. I'm going to go through and talk about each one and give their descriptions. Now we have a better idea of what they are. And we'll be doing this every week. Now, they may not be what I use in my review show, which I'll be doing every week as well, starting next week. But this is our very first one. So thanks for coming and check out all of our other stuff. And here we go. So as you can see, we're going to start with Adventures of the Super Sons. This is by Peter J. Tomasi, Carlo Barberi, Dan Mora, and Art Thibert. John Kent learns it's better to be dead than red, kryptonite that is. Traveling the cosmos to get home and escape the intergalactic teen baddies known as the Gang, Superboy and Robin wind up in the so-called Planet of Mystery. There, Superboy, with red kryptonite exposure, which throws his powers out of whack, well, the planet haunts and taunts them both with nightmare creatures. They'll need to wrap this up ASAP, though, as the Gang is hot on their tails looking for a pound of flesh, which is a lethal amount when you're a tween. So I'm a fan of the entire package that they have here. Both Jonathan Kent and Damian are like two of my favorite characters. Just the legacy aspect, they've been written super well. Damian Wayne being created by Grant Morrison, who, as you'll find out, is one of my favorites. So this is just a super fun series. I would definitely check it out. So next, what we're going to do is go to the Dreaming. This is a Sandman universe book, part of all the Neil Gaiman corner related to the Sandman books. So this is a new series. Obviously, we're on our third issue of this. They just came out a couple months ago, so it's good to jump in. Love the art. This is Simon Spurrier, Belquist Everly, and Jay Lee. As the Dreaming slips deeper into chaos, its frightened denizens yearn for strong leaders to guide them back to greatness. Enter Judge Gallows, nightmare of the major arcana, terror of the old frontier, whose thoughts and actions come knotted in hemp. Released from Morpheus' black chest after a century in the dark, he may not be merciful, but he's always right. His first case? Lucian's fitness to lead. If you don't know, basically Lucian is not in the Dreaming right now, so they're searching for him. So it's a good question whether he's fit to lead them if he's not around. So the next one is one I'm maybe most excited about for this week. I'm showing the Frank Quitely variant cover, but this is the Green Lantern #1 by Grant Morrison, Liam Sharp, and Frank Quitely. Grant Morrison's been busy in the 2001 AD doing stuff over there on heavy metal, so it looks like he's bringing a lot of that like European look, especially Liam Sharp's colors and inks look a lot like that. So I'm very excited. Green Lantern is one of my favorite heroes, and then Grant Morrison being one of the best. So this series looks like it's going to be a wild ride. So in this debut issue, when Earth's space cop Hal Jordan encounters an alien hiding in plain sight, it sets off a chain of events that rocks the Green Lantern Corps and quite possibly the multiverse at large to its very core. There's an intergalactic conspiracy afoot, as well as a traitor in the Green Lantern Corps rank. So strap in for more mind-bending adventures in this masterpiece in the making. So everything about that sounds beautiful to me. The multiverse is my favorite part of it. Grant Morrison's had a huge hand in there, and so can't be more excited for this book. So I would say that's a must check out. So the next one is another one you definitely should be reading. This is Justice League #11 by Scott Snyder and Francis Manapul. Scott Snyder is one of the very best, maybe top 3 writers that DC has, in my opinion. Francis Manapul has beautiful art, especially if he's coloring himself. It's fantastic. Actually met him one time at a con, got a signature on a Flash comic that he and Jeff Johns did during. So that's fun. So this is part of the Drowned Earth series. This is part 2 in that. So the Justice League is scattered across the 7 seas, pursued by the Ocean Lords and their army of alien mercenaries, and constantly at risk of turning into fish monsters. Just a day at the beach. Their only hope lies in the crippled Aquaman, who believes the road to victory lies in unleashing equally vengeful gods on Earth's oceans. Meanwhile, Batman guards the totality in the sunken Hall of Justice, where no one can attack him, or can they? So yeah, definitely this is a must-read. This is a fantastic series so far. Scott Snyder can basically do no wrong, especially when it comes to the heroes. So I would check this out. Next, you can see there's some more Grant Morrison pop up. So this is Sideways Annual by Dan Didio, Max Rayner, Andy Kubert, Grant Morrison, and Sandra Hope. So on the cover, you can see that would be the New 52 reboot Superman that Grant Morrison did whenever he relaunched the series. So Sideways is one of my favorite new characters that they have. He's kind of Spider-Man-esque, but he can pop between tears in sideways through the multiverse, which is pretty interesting. And he's kind of hapless, so he just is falling from one place to the next. The Fugonaut is a crack-up character that is funny to me. So Sideways unleashes his super secret weapon against Paris in an effort to free the oppressed people and escape to his home dimension. He'll get some additional help from the newly discovered Seven Soldiers, but only if someone makes a heroic ultimate sacrifice. Plus, a bonus backup story in which Sideways meets the Unseen. So, Seven Soldiers, more Grant Morrison characters, so, that's going to be fun. So, next we're going to go over to the Marvel books. This is what I saw coming out from them this week that looked interesting to me. First one here is Asgardians of the Galaxy #3 by Cullen Bunn, Matteo Loli, and Dale Keown. And I apologize to anybody I misspelled your names. Storm of the Dead. Nebula unleashes a Thor of nightmares. Hordes of Asgardian dead ravage the Shi'ar Empire. The galaxy is falling to Nebula and her Naglfar armada, and so far Angela's ragtag team is powerless to stop her. But there is a debt to be paid and lives to be saved. The Asgardians of the Galaxy grow desperate as Nebula carves a bloody path to her revenge. It's just big space action, which I'm a big fan of, and I wanted to give this a shot. Anything with Thor in it, I'm kind of a given. Next, we'll go with Immortal Hulk #8 by Al Ewing, Joe Bennett, and Alex Ross. Al Ewing does a lot of really fantastic stuff. His Ultimates 2 series was really great, and I can't get enough of Alex Ross covers, so those are fantastic. Bruce Banner is dead. His corpse has been dissected, his organs cataloged, and his inner workings are being studied by the scientists of Shadowbase. Bruce Banner is no longer a threat. That just leaves the Immortal Hulk. So, if I remember, part of this big series, taken from the name, is that you can't kill the Hulk no matter what you do about it. So this is a lot more of a horror book. So very exciting stuff. Check it out if you're a fan of the Hulk. All right, Infinity Wars. There's not a lot of their description here. If you don't know what's been going on with it, part of what's happened is you've had kind of like a Marvel internal amalgam universe, and they've been fusing two characters together and then having them come out, like Arachnite, who's like Spider-Man, and Moon Knight. And then they had like Doctor Strange and Captain America. So it's been an interesting series on that. This is by Jerry Dugan and Mike Deodato, who does beautiful pencil work. This is the 5th out of 6 issues. So the description for this is introducing Loki's Cosmic Avengers. So I would definitely check this out. Interesting stuff. Next, Spider-Geddon. If you can't tell, I like the big bombastic, silly things. So you get every Spider character on a page together, then that's always super fun. So this is number 3 of 5 by Christos Gage and Jorge Molina. Beautiful artwork. Revenge of the Spider-Verse. One superior spider is willing to do whatever it takes to defeat the Inheritors. Will Miles and his team have to stop him before he goes too far? Stand together or fall separately. Isn't that how it goes? So, good spider multiverse action is always a blast. And then finally, we'll end on Star Wars Han Solo Imperial Cadet #1. Han Solo has always been one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. He's just, fun, roguish. He has the best line in the whole series with I know. All the Boba Fett stuff. So I'm always interested to see more story with him. And the Star Wars books from Marvel have been pretty good, actually. So this is Young Solo's adventures continue. Han Solo escapes Corellia by joining the Imperial Navy, vowing to return for Kiara. But how far does a thief used to the chaos of the streets adjust to the order and discipline of the military? Not well. Han's dream of becoming a pilot is quickly grounded as he realizes he may not even survive basic training. So it just looks fun. You can look from the cover that, it looks silly. He's gonna be crashing a TIE fighter if that is in the issue, and so I'll give it a shot and see if that's any fun. If you're a Star Wars fan, like I said, they've all been good, so it's definitely worth your time. So I wanted to thank you guys. This is the first one for this series of the Comic Club. So we just want to give you a preview what may be coming out next week that you might be interested in, things that I think are worth your time. Love the artist or the writers, or this description just sounded fun. So these are 10 books that you can pick up next week. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any ideas for our series or anything you want me to cover, I'd be glad to do that. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time. This is Tyler from Pulp Central Gaming's Comic Club, and we will see you next week. Stay reading. Bye.